Welcome. In this video we'll talk about Google Meet. There are several ways you can join a Meet. One is you can simply go to meet.google.com. From here you can start or join a meeting, but perhaps if you're planning on scheduling this event, the best way is through your calendar. Let's go have a look at our calendar options when we do it this way. Here I am in Teacher Ned's calendar. Let's create a new calendar event and call it Test Meeting. If when you click the event you have the wrong time, you can simply change it here. Let's set ours to 11 a.m. and we'll go till noon. We can change the calendar that this event shows on. No event email is sent to the user when you do this. Instead, we're going to leave it selected to the teacher's name and select more options. One of the first things we need to do is change the Add Conferencing to a Hangouts Meet. If we want to add a notification, the notification is only for myself, Teacher Ned, not for the class. Here I can add attachments, so I'm just going to add one for now. Next I want to add my guests, so I can add either a person by email address or I can add a group. So for this example, I'm adding my Harpera class group. This way I know they'll get an email advising them of the meeting. If you think they may not see the email, you could additionally change the calendar to the Harpera class calendar. Just note, they'll have the same event listed twice on their calendar. Guest permissions are only in relationship to this calendar, not in relationship to the meeting room. Any user in a meeting room can invite others. I'm now going to save this event. Next, it will ask me if I want to send the invitation out. I'll select Send. Because the attachment I added earlier had no sharing permissions on it, it will now prompt me for how I want to share it. I could change the permission to comment or edit, but I'm going to leave it as View. I very likely would share my documents through my Harpera interface as opposed to doing it this way. I'll click Invite. The invite went out. Now let's go see from a student perspective what they see. Here I am in Cassandra's email. She got an invitation. You can say yes, but before we do that, let's have a look at Cassandra's calendar. Cassandra's calendar has a test meeting. You can see it was directly added to her. Cassandra can now open the event. With it open, she sees Join Hangouts Meet. Additionally, there's Join by Phone. Keep in mind, this is a US phone number, so long distance charges will apply. She can open the attachment from here. I'll close that. We'll go back to Calendar. From inside Calendar, she'll select Join Hangouts Meet. Now, two pieces of information before Cassandra joins. First, she should join with her microphone turned off, so we'll select that. The reason for the microphone being off is because of all the people joining in the room. This would make a very noisy startup to the meeting. The next one is having the camera turned off. Just note, always be aware of how you're perceived in the camera view and what's in the background behind you. You can't take away embarrassing moments. Cassandra now presses Join Meeting. Let's now jump back to Ned in the meeting room. So what's important to note about the meeting room, the settings I set only apply to myself and not to the others in the room. What this means is that the others in the room have the same abilities in changing their settings. Let's now take a look around the room. Remember, these settings are available to all users in the room. We start in the lower left-hand corner. We see our meeting name, select the arrow, we get all the meeting room details. We can copy the joining info if we wanted to mail that out to somebody else. Remember, this is a US dial-in number, so long distance charges will apply. In the top right, we see attachments. These are attachments to our meetings. We could open them up from here. Now let's move to the upper right corner of our meeting room and see what's there. If we look up at the far right, we can see what's being displayed from Ned's camera view. We also see audio is working for us. The next window over is chat. I select chat. This chat window is for all participants in the room and can be used as a place for asking questions. Incidentally, if for some reason I exit this session and had to get back in, my chat messages would all have disappeared. The other people will continue seeing the previous conversations until they exit and rejoin. The next window is People. We can see the people that are in the room. We can see that Cassandra is muted. We can see that Add People is available, which gives the ability to add others to the room, not only by the person that created the event, but by all participants of the event. Get out of there. I can actually pin Cassandra so that Cassandra is the only person I see in the middle of my screen. I can't unmute them. As the organizer, I can remove them. Let's now go to the three vertical dots. Select it. Here we can start a recording. Accept. The recording will start. What's important is that at the end of the meeting, we also come in and select Stop the recording. Otherwise, the recording will keep going. This recording will show up in Ned's Drive, so it could take up 5 minutes to show in here. Depending on Google itself and how busy it is, it could take minutes to hours to even a day before it becomes playable directly from Drive. Let's take a quick look at a recording that had a shared window. Notice how the shared window consumes most of the screen, and to the right hand side you'll see the person that is speaking. Unmuted people can be caught switching in and out of that view. One additional thing to note is that the recordings get added back to the calendar event. That said, you very likely should go back and check the access permissions of the recordings in your Google Drive. As you can see from my recordings, while a couple were shared, most were not. This will leave participants sending the organizer of the event a request for access for these recordings should they go to view them. Let's go back to our Meet. We can change the layout. Remember, this layout is only for myself, not for anybody else in the room. Additionally, I can turn on full screen, turn on captions. Captions is also turned on down here. We'll come back to that after. We can take a look at settings. In settings, here we can see that I'm using the Yeti as my microphone. Currently it's turned off for this meeting. I could turn it on down here. Additionally, I could change the output that my audio is going to. If we look at the video tab, this is my current camera. If I had multiple cameras, I could choose a different camera view from in here. That's about it for this part. Present. I can present the entire screen or a window. My computer has 2 monitors, so if I say entire screen, it's going to ask me which screen I want to present from. My other option under present now was a window. These would be any open windows on either screen. Make your selection to present. The presentation has leaped to the forefront of my second monitor. I'm going to stop presenting. And now we'll take a look at turn on captions. When I select turn on captions, you'll have to wait for the bottom bar to disappear to see the captions. These captions are only in relationship to yourself, not to anyone else in the room. This will start recording everything that I'm saying in this session. Turn off captions. Left hand towards the middle of our screen on the bottom. We can turn off the microphone, turn it back on. We can turn off the video, in which case you see his icon has just changed. Turn the video back on. And we can hang up the call. And that's it. As you likely know, Google is always making changes. So this is Google Meet today. When in question or doubt, test things with your colleagues. Together, we are stronger. I hope you found this video informative. Thanks for watching.